You appeared in Fresno 10 times, 5 times you're in the main event. Any memories wrestling in Fresno?
Yeah, one time when I wrestled Stone Cold Steve Austin, and it's kind of a joke between us because I have a reputation of being having incredible conditioning. I never get tired. And the one night in Fresno when I wrestled Stone Cold Steve Austin, I got tired. He actually blew me up. So he would always, joke with me about that. Hey, I'm the only person to ever blow you up. Stone Cold Steve Austin's the only one to get you tired. And he was absolutely right. I never blew up before that or after that.
So you are returning to Fresno August 17th with the Fresno Grizzlies. Hey, fans can meet and greet their Olympic heroes.
Yeah, I'm really excited to head to the Grizzlies game. I do some of these. I've done some of these in the past in New Jersey, New York, Virginia. They go really well, and the reception of the fans is incredible. I love my fans in California, especially in Fresno. They've always been good to me, and I can't wait to see them coming when is it?
Saturday, August 17th.
Yes, can't wait to see them.
So we are in Olympic wrestling. It started. How much pressure is it competing versus the Olympics versus other tournaments?
Well, you know what? It's the granddaddy of them all. I mean, if you're going to win anything, the most difficult tournament to win is the Olympics in wrestling or any other sport. And you just have to be prepared. And it's very nerve wracking. I'm not going to lie to you. I probably didn't smile for the whole week when I was building up to my matches, my 5 matches in the Olympics. You have to be laser focused. And one thing I do regret about the Olympics is I didn't really let it soak in. I didn't let the good times soak in, the opening ceremonies, staying at Olympic Village. I was on an assignment. I was going to do my job, and that was win an Olympic gold medal, and nothing was going to stop me from doing it. So I kind of didn't have as much fun as I should have. But I look back now and I'm like, man, I wish I would have enjoyed it a little bit more. But, in return, I did win the gold medal. So I'm happy with that.
How much training and dedication goes that you had to do, and I'm sure these Olympic athletes in wrestling right now are going through. Kind of go, how long were you training for, and what were those days and weeks like?
What they train every day. We did back then in 1996. We trained every day, probably 8 to 10 hours a day. 3 a days every single day except Sunday. You only did 2 a days on Sunday, and it's a lot of time and a lot of energy put into the sport. You would wake up in the morning, go on a 6-mile run, then I would do 30 100-yard hill sprints up this steep hill, and then I would go back and ride the airdyne for about an hour. Then I'd do the sauna and stretch. In the afternoon, I would do technique training, drilling, and then 2.5 hours of live wrestling. And then at night, I would get another conditioning workout in and get my strength training workout with the weights. And I also did plyometrics and core training as well. So it's a busy day. It's your life. It's what you do. And I was very grateful because I had Foxcatcher behind me that was funding me for the Olympics. So I was able to focus just on my training. I didn't have to get another job. I was able to do this and not have to worry about making money at that particular time. It wasn't a lot of money, but it was enough for me to live on.
Now, of course, you mentioned Foxcatcher, and it was a subject of a famous movie a couple years ago. Did you ever watch that movie?
Yeah, many times. That was my club, and Dave Schultz was my coach. So it was near and dear to me.
Right. So you took to pro wrestling pretty quickly. You won the WWE championship within a year that you debuted. How were you received in the locker room? Because, we saw Mark Henry. He had a documentary recently, and even as an Olympian, Mark Henry, he said he was even hazed in the locker room. What was your experience?
No, when I came in, people respected me right away. And I think it was because I had this positive attitude. I was very humble. I was friendly. I was kind. I never gave anybody the assumption that I was, cocky or arrogant or that I deserved more than they did. And I think that really worked for me. And a lot of people, I had a lot of the biggest stars coming up to me and saying, hey, thank you for serving my country and winning the gold medal. I was rooting for you back then, and it felt really good. So I always had a good relationship with everybody starting out. And I don't know if one of the reasons could be that they feared me. I don't know, being an Olympic gold medalist in wrestling. or if they just respected me because I was a kind, humble guy that won a gold medal in the Olympics.
Right now, one of your greatest rivals was Brock Lesnar, who also has his amateur credentials, his mixed martial arts credentials. Any good road stories with Brock Lesnar?
Yeah, you probably heard this before. When I first met Brock, I didn't know who he was. I knew who he was. I knew he was an NCAA champion, and I knew WWE signed him, and he was at OVW for a few years training, and they brought him up finally to TV. And the first day he was up there, um, somebody walked up to him and said, "Hey, Brock, how do you think you would do against Kurt Angle if you wrestled him in a wrestling match?" And Brock said, "I crush him. I'm 80 pounds heavier than him." And so that person came and told me. So I was feeling frisky one day, and I went up to Brock and I said, "Hey, you think you could beat me in wrestling?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, why?" He said, "Because you're too small." I said, "Let's get in the ring right now." He said, "No, I have sandals on." I said, "That's all right. We'll go barefoot." So I took my shoes off. He said, "No, no, I don't want to do it." So I let him go that day. And the next day, he was in the ring with Big Show, and they were actually wrestling for real. And Brock was picking him up and slamming him. Big Show's 530 pounds. And I was like, holy crap. I don't know if I can beat this guy. He really got me nervous the way he was manhandling Big Show. And so I was outside the ring, and Brock was, his back was turned toward me, and Big Show was facing me on the other side of Brock. And I said, "Big Show, get out." I whispered, lip syncing. And he got out, and I walked up to Brock. I tapped him on the shoulder. He turned around, and I said, "Let's go." So he didn't have a choice. So we went. And we went about 15 minutes. But everybody said that I crushed him and I dominated him and I hurt him. That's not true. I beat him. I took him down a couple of times. He didn't take me down at all. But it wasn't a domination. I did beat him, but, I just want to show Brock that size doesn't matter. Experience is what matters, and I had that.
Kurt, you're looking good. You're looking healthy. Liz, you've been very public with your battles with substance abuse and coming back to this level. So what helped you turn things around to realize that you needed help to have kind of this positive result for you?
What turned me around is my family. I never got addicted to anything in my life except wrestling and football and any sport that I did. But when I broke my neck the second time, the first time in WWE, I broke my neck before the Olympics, and then I broke it again in WWE. And first time I broke my neck in the WWE, I was introduced to painkillers. And man, they gave me a really euphoric feeling. I really loved the way they made me feel. And they masked the pain in my neck and everywhere else. So it was being of good use, but I loved them too much. And when you're taking painkillers, your body builds a tolerance after a while. So one doesn't work anymore. Then you have to take two. Then two led to four, four led to eight. Before I knew it, I was taking 65 extra strength Vicodin a day. I was in deep trouble. And not only that, but I was getting injured quite a bit, which didn't help with the painkiller problem. And so I remember at one point in time, I was getting ready to wrestle Brock Lesnar in a match, and we were driving. I ended up getting a DUI, is what happened, and I actually got 4 DUIs in 5 years. That's how far my life spun out of control. I lost my reputation, everything where I worked for. I was at the lowest point in my life. And I remember calling my wife after my 4th DUI, and she said, "Listen, I can't do this anymore. You either go to rehab or I'm taking the kids and I'm leaving." And I didn't want to lose my wife, my kids, so I went to rehab. It was the best decision I ever made. I've been clean and sober for 13 years now. So I put it all on my family and the incredible recovery program that where I went to, the addiction center I went to.
Well, Kurt, hey, thanks for sharing that story. I'm sure it's an inspiration for many. And finally, do you have one last match in you?
I get asked that quite a bit. I had a discussion with Tony Khan of AEW. He wanted me to wrestle one more time. Listen. I'm not one of those guys that's going to have a retirement match and then retire and then come back and have another retirement match. I can't do that. The thing is, when I retired, there was a reason for it. I lost a step, and I didn't want people to remember me as this washed up old man. I wanted them to remember me of when I was in my prime. So if I can't wrestle the way I was in my prime, I won't wrestle anymore. That's just how I feel.